Well, my name is Major Dream Williams, and the company I represent is the Art Mob, both the podcast and the DAO. This thing right here is the ultimate opportunity for you and me to be able to mint it forward. You know, when I say mint it forward, I mean, we've never had an opportunity to secure, when they say secure the bag, I say the bag is the culture, the people, the moment. Because every moment is very important. So if you mine the moment and then mine the moment, create and mint the moment and mint these things forward, you are generating legacy. So a generation, or 2 or 3 generations, that's 50 years, 80 years. You have a different family. You have a different vision of yourself, all because you chose to take that moment and be mindful of that moment. I don't know what's gonna be valuable 1,000 years from now, but if it's on the blockchain, it will be here. And it's up to my legacy to then have the mentality and the mindset. And guess what? You've also had the information, because I've now told you what I think this thing should be 1,000 years from now, because we've minted that on the blockchain. So I don't have to ask a random textbook who I am. I don't have to show up to some, rally because of there's a bunch of social ills, but with a chant that confuses me. Because I'm someone who knows that my life matters. But if you don't, because of the information that you've gotten, you're going to be chanting things that are kind of demeaning to you as just an entity, as an inhabitant of this meat suit. A lot of people out here parrot. They know the words to say. They know the words to say to make themselves sound relevant and right. But ultimately, it's about what are you doing if you're not co-collaborating, because you can see tons of projects that are doing the same thing, the same exact thing. So it's like, why do something different? A lot of it is mainly ego, because if you're truly looking at it from the abundance perspective, you don't want to do the hard lifting. You don't want to do the heavy lifting. You just want to add to something that's already out there that is doing what you do. So a lot of this, again, is an exercise in ego and fixing the hurt, And look, we all go through it, myself included. But I would say this, as this thing matures, the cream will always rise to the top. Remember, Google was not the first search engine. It was number 26. So a lot of these guys have to start to kind of do their thing, only to fail to become employee number 11 with a better company.
My name's Alex Adelman. I am the CEO and co-founder of Lolli. We've created the leading Bitcoin rewards company that makes it incredibly easy for everybody to actually earn Bitcoin on their everyday purchases from over 1,000 different merchants. Yeah, we've been on an absolute roll. I think we have Shake Shack now, CVS, and we are excited to announce Safeway today as well. So you can earn Bitcoin back on just about anything. We're trying to give you all these different experiences. So if you go to your favorite fast food, if you go get grocery, if you go get gas, we want you to have a reason to earn Bitcoin on your everyday purchases. I'm one person, my co-founder is one person. We can only do so much just by ourselves. We have to hire people who are smarter than us, better than us at different things, and so yeah, the more we can hire great people, the best. So that's one of my secrets. And the other thing, I think, just be good to people too. Like I've been building for a very long time, and I've always played the long game. Merchants, one example of that. With my last company, we had lots of ups and downs, and we always treated our merchants really well and treat them with respect. We're very transparent with everything and honest about the good, the bad, the ugly. And ultimately, when we started this company, 500 of them joined us for this next venture. And a lot of it they did because we were good to them. Yes, we made them lots of money in the end, but they were with us from the beginning, and they like trusted us to make them more money. So since then, we've made them a lot of money. We've been great partners and always play the long game and been good to people. Companies stand out in the space by being transparent and honest with their users. So I think that you're starting to see like a higher bar that the consumer has for the average project. There's been enough rug pulls, there's been enough scams out there that the mainstream consumer is getting smart. They're getting intelligent on the space, and I think that the best projects, the best founders are the ones that are most transparent and honest with their users about what's happening. Like, consumers are smart. They're asking like really good questions about these projects, and hopefully we get to a point where like you verify before you trust. And hopefully we'll get there soon. In this world, there's tons of competition for talent, and I think one of the things that we do to stand out is we're good to people, we're honest with people, and always trying to be as transparent as possible and treat people with respect. So I think that goes a long way in this world. And I think that there is a higher bar in crypto because there's so much skepticism about the space. We just saw this with Luna, and I was like sounding the alarm well before, which was like this doesn't make sense. Nothing about this makes sense. Like, are people earning a consistent 20% APY? Like, that's just not how the world works. Where is that money coming from, and is that sustainable? And clearly, it was not sustainable. And so, like algorithmic stable coins, like don't pass the smell test. I think like more and more people will be. After Luna, become more really like pragmatic, and they'll hopefully learn from their lessons. And what keeps happening every time someone gets rugged, every time there's like a scam, they keep flocking back into Bitcoin, because no matter what, Bitcoin is just doing the exact same thing it was doing in 2009, and every 10 minutes there's a new block. And every year, just more and more people start to get involved in it. And so I don't feel like there's any other project that sort of has that test of time and has proven its value to society like Bitcoin has.
My name is Joe Vezzani, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of LunarCrush. LunarCrush is a social intelligence company. So what that means is we aggregate all of the world's social media data that's crypto specific. We pull that together and we help investors make better decisions. What we do and the clientele and the people that we serve is regular, everyday retail investors that are out there trying to figure out what's going on. They just log into LunarCrush, they put some Lunar token into their wallet, and now they have access to all of these features and years of social media history and data about all this cryptocurrency. And so if you're just a person out there that's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, or your friend texts you the next big cryptocurrency, it's like you might want to go check that on a couple of places, and as opposed to just looking at the price of that thing or the market cap of that thing. What we do is we help people understand what the community looks like and how many people are out there, who are the influencers talking about it. So you're just getting a little bit of a deeper understanding of what's going on. And then a lot of the projects in cryptocurrency and now NFTs as well, they actually come to LunarCrush to understand what does their community look like. And so we provide analytics and data to help them grow their projects or grow their communities as well. And then we work with a lot of exchanges. We have an API, so we work with a lot of data companies or funds, so kind of all over the place. We kind of see ourselves as the watering hole of crypto. We do the same thing with influencers as we kind of do with the projects themselves. And so we help people understand which influencers are having the most impact. And so, you're hearing about it a lot today around spam, right? And bots and all of these things across social media. And so what we try to do is help kind of turn that noise into a little bit of a signal for influencers as well. And so if you're out there saying, okay, I heard about this project, who are the people that are talking about it? You can actually dive in and look at that influencer. Some parts of the world, it's called a KOL. And so key opinion leader. And so they're out there talking, and so you're saying, wow, did this person post 100 times about this one project? Were they posting about this other project that might not have done very well? So it's not just going out there and kind of seeing, you start to follow someone, you can actually look at their past a little bit and understand where their kind of impact was. And so it's kind of interesting because it's not just a standard influencer maybe that's out there, lifestyle, kind of talking about stuff. These people are traders or different types of influencers where people are taking like advice, even though they always say, this is not financial advice. What kind of advice is it? You know, they're just kind of talking about it, which is fine. And I think that's actually a good thing. I think they should be able to talk about it because a lot of people are getting their source of media and news in a different way. You know, when you think about, you know, CNBC and some of the larger, you know, Bloomberg and some of these people out there, when news breaks, you know, they'll bring on a subject matter expert and they'll say, what happened here? And then they'll pop a couple of tweets up of other subject matter experts. It's like the news has already happened on Twitter. It's already like over. And so a lot of people are just following that news as it happens. And so what we try to do is help kind of distill down and help people understand, you know, who's kind of making an impact and who's not. In order to stand out in the industry, there's something we always talk about in crypto. It's kind of this counterculture. There's this kind of subversion or like the subversive nature to it where we started our company and it's always been organic growth, right? We're not out there like a lot of companies paying on Twitter or Reddit or, you know, Facebook or Instagram ads. It's all about what community can you create organically. And so for us, that looks like being close to the projects in the space, the founders, the people out there, and just talking consistently about what we believe is going to grow the industry and what we're seeing out there. And it's always just about kind of staying true, I would say. And that's why in the cryptocurrency space or Web3 space now, you hear a lot of people talk about community, you know, and you hear a lot of people kind of talk about growing a business or a project in a way that makes sense. Because it's just a different type of culture here. And there's a lot of people that are in our industry. You go walk down the streets here in Austin today and you'll ask someone, what do you do in the space? And they're like, I'm just here to hang out, right? And it's like, you don't see that people just come to hang out at like a cloud provider conference. Like you don't see that, but you see that here and there's a reason. And so that reason, which is kind of undefined, is the reason I think so many people love it. There's a million different ways to define success, I think, because there's so many different ways to create for yourself, whether you're creating a project or being a part of a project or just contributing to something where, you know, you contribute code to something and you might get a token as a incentive for that. And you might have a job doing something else out there. So I think that's where this kind of creator economy is coming from, but everyone has the ability to create for themselves and be anywhere in the world as well. So there's a million, I think, different ways to get involved, and success is what you make of it, right? And I think we're living in a time in history where you're going to see this kind of sovereign individual, this kind of decentralized way of working, and I think that's a beautiful thing because I think that everyone gets to have the value be a little bit closer to the creator than it was before, and kind of close that gap of the middleman, you know, and the middleman is kind of the double spend problem that the white paper of Bitcoin solved. That's kind of the mantra of that. And so everyone's just experienced it in different ways as it disrupts. And so I would say if you're out there and wanting to join the industry, you know, just do it.
I'm James Bowater. I'm the founder and editor-at-large of Crypto AM in London. I created it in partnership with City AM, which is London's business newspaper. It's people first, ideas also are obviously incredibly important, but from my point of view, if I'm going to put my name to something, or you know, even behind the scenes, I'd like to see that there is something that's going to last longer than 4 years. It would be good, you know. You need to have that long-term vision. Digital access, it should be, these days, it should be a fundamental human right. And it's just a scandal that half the world is unconnected.
So a question, like how are we going to grow our network, make this a good place to be? How do we get people to come? Neal's just talking about having great creative properties and building like the tools for people to make these and the systems that let them do it. And so that's one way, is like we'll have dev kits for Unity and Unreal that let experienced creators just hook right into Lamina 1. So that's stuff that we'll do that's really good. We will have an ecosystem fund. It's not fully sorted yet, but Neal's maybe a little less comfortable with me saying it this way, but this is how I say it, is like, we want to give money to people. Like, basically we're gonna invest, fund, grant things that we think are awesome. We know that we need to help the people doing it. Like, it's just us together. And so I think we're gonna do that too, is be like, just come work your asses off, and we'll try and do our part and get you the money and the connections and the tech that you need to do that.
My name is Sergei Medvedev, and my company is Cryptomerla Labs. So it's a venture studio. We're doing transition for entertainment industry from Web 2 to Web 3. How to break through the noise. It's a good question. So, like every morning I feel like hangover. And even today I said, okay, it's the 5th day, I think, of the conferences. So here in Austin. So just imagine, we have a lot of entertainment IP right now. A lot of games, a lot of TV shows, a lot of comic books, etc., etc., etc. And now, like, it's a big shift, like paradigm shift of the internet, because it's moving to Web3. That big companies that already have a lot of, like liquidity, a lot of value, they cannot do it by themselves because they're super slow. And that's how we help them. So we implement this philosophy of the Web3, this kind of interoperability, when people can create some value inside this space, not when developers create value in a game, for example, for people, for customers. But people inside the game, they can create some value and other people could consume this value. And that's smart. And this is play-turn mechanics. Create turn mechanics, and that's important. So we have 2 divisions. It's game division. So as I tell you, like, we create really interesting game, entertainment first, and then we onboard people in crypto. And we have another division, media, because I'm former CBDO at Cointelegraph, and I made this brand #1 globally, from 1 million to 19 million users, like unique users per month, and it was cool. It was really great journey. And now we are doing Metaverse Post. It's a media, the first professional media in Metaverse space. The main focus for me right now, it's pure value for customers, for our players, for our readers, for people who consume our content, who just use our apps and who use our media website, for example. So, and that's how I just try to make the best solution for them. They benefited from it just using that, and they have a lot of value and a lot of knowledge. So that's it.
My name is Greg Gopman. I work for ANKR. ANKR is an infrastructure provider to blockchain companies. So we help blockchains run their blockchains better. We provide the node infrastructure that allows developers and users to access blockchain data faster. And so when you go to a blockchain website, a lot of times you're going through ANKR's RPC services. Actually, even though it might be an Ethereum website or a Phantom website or an Avalanche website, ANKR's involved. In crypto, there's always a narrative that is in line with what the industry wants and what people are looking to see for the future of the industry. And so the first thing you do to stand out is you have to be in line with where things are going, what people really respect or want to do at that time. You also have to set up your token structure in a way that fits with that, so the token holders feel like they're going to get a good value out of it. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to see if you're a good investment in a way, even though not all these things are for investment purposes. Everyone's making a bet anytime they buy a thing, and when you're doing marketing, you're trying to get people to be a part of your community and your ecosystem. So everyone's got to believe that you're going to be winning. And so you have to play the game of what we're doing to win and why we're going to win versus everyone else. A lot of people look at metrics such as Twitter followers, Discord followers. A lot of those things can be hacked or bought, though. And so I think the easiest metric to look at is has to do with token price and trading volume on the token. Those are great metrics. Also, what partnerships you have in the space are great metrics too. If you have other big crypto companies you're working with that give you the social validation of saying that they believe in you, other people can look at that and say that they can believe in you too.